I'm Kerry Holaday, Highway Traffic Officer and District Enforcement Supervisor with the Highway Transport Patrol in Melfort, Saskatchewan. The duties involve enforcement of transport law on commercial vehicles that travel the highways of Saskatchewan. A commercial vehicle could be anything from a half-ton right to a full 8-axle or 9-axle B-train. The transport law basically is divided into 3 program areas that essentially that we enforce, to do with safety, weights and dimensions, and economic regulations on vehicles. Safety of commercial vehicles themselves would involve inspecting the vehicle for mechanical components that would be considered to be severe of nature that could cause potential collisions with other vehicles on the road. So that could include the brake system, tires, lights, steering, suspension, quite a number of items that we would involve inspecting on commercial vehicles. Also, weights and dimensions of commercial vehicles. So whether it be tire size, axle weights, gross vehicle weights of vehicles to do with regulation weights, or vehicles that are transporting heavier loads under special permit. Dimensions as well would come into play with the width, height, and length of vehicles to make sure they're complying with the necessary limitations of the regulations. Economic regulation enforcement would involve whether the vehicle is registered, the registration is valid, the class of plate of the registration if it's a Saskatchewan-based carrier, and proper authorities to be transporting goods from province to province. Average workday for an officer is based on scheduling. We do a 4-week schedule. Our shift can be anything from starting in the early morning to mid-late afternoons, any day of the week. The operation takes place either at a permanent weigh scale, where the officer will work the weigh scale and weigh vehicles, do safety inspections, or also we conduct patrols in a defined patrol area, and that'll involve the same type of inspections, just that we're on the road patrolling the area that we're designated for a particular shift. Staying safe on the job is very important, and it's a very important from the perspective of every officer taking initiative to follow proper safety procedures. We wear high-vis vests. We have safety vest, Kevlar vest as well. We carry collapsible batons, OC spray, handcuffs, safety-toed boots. We have policies that guide us when we're inspecting the vehicles to create safety lanes and make sure that you're monitoring traffic when you're on the highway and in the weigh scale facility. In multi-officer detachments, at times you will be patrolling or working with another officer, especially on patrol. In that situation, one officer will be the inspecting officer and the second officer is there for support. One of the aspects of providing a safe environment there is the second officer will act as the eyes and ears and monitor the traffic that's approaching the inspection site to keep an eye on that traffic and control traffic if necessary to provide a safer work environment for the officer who's doing the inspection. The duties of highway traffic officers are important and do serve the public from a perspective of making sure that vehicles that are traveling the highways are traveling legally, safely, that vehicle components are meeting proper specifications, and that the vehicle weights are within proper load limits to prevent damage to the highway road surface. On average, an officer on any particular shift could be potentially inspecting 3 to 5 or more vehicles, depending on the length of time it takes for that inspection, and that depends a lot on the violations that may be found. On an average year, I would think between 400 and 500 vehicles could be inspected by an officer through our safety inspection program, both at the permanent weigh scale facilities or on highway patrol.